I'm bored. Okay, let's watch some YouTube. Hey, Andy's got a new video.
Miss me much? Let's do this. At this point, I have been challenged to what is going around is what is my top 10 video games of all time. Now, Pack Rats. That's my top 10 / top 20 / cheating because I already did something like this and didn't want to let anyone down. So at this point, I have to nominate 5 other people to do this challenge. I'm very, very late to the game, no pun intended. So at this point, I'm gonna throw these out there. If you've already been issued the challenge, just skip me and move on. But if this is something you wanna do, then do it and check it out. And I'll tag you and do all of the fun social media stuff and we'll make it happen. So first, Flips and Pips. Wolf, give me your top 10 games of all time, dude. Guys, go check out his channel. Fantastic dude. I'm pretty sure he's close to 4,000 subs, releasing videos nonstop all the time about all sorts of gaming topics. Go check out also.
So I've been officially challenged by Andy, Pac-Man Case, to make my top 10 games of all time video. This is rough, right? Like, you know, what mood am I in? What console are we talking about? What's the mindset? You know, are we talking nostalgia? Are we talking just raw good? This is a challenge, and I'll tell you what, I didn't know how I was gonna approach this. I mean, how can you fathom your top 10 games of all time? Like, aren't everybody gonna have the same top 10? Like, you know, Super Mario, Zelda, you know. Okay, so I started out this process with kind of thinking up some ground rules. Maybe I'll do one per console or maybe one per genre. And I realized that none of this is going to work. I mean, in top 10 is impossible. So what did I do? I just started thinking of games that had a big impact on my life. And I just started writing them down in no particular order. And when I got to 10, I was done. So you know what? Maybe it's my favorite top 10. Maybe it's just 10 really good-ass games. But, well, let's just go with,
Number 10.
Look, I know these are all technically numbered, but, you know, this is just like a top 10 as far as, like, which goes into which place. Very fluid. It was very hard to even make this list. Like I said, I just ended up writing down the first 10 games that, like, really popped into my head. That said, I had to start off with Donkey Kong Country just because it's the obvious one, right? I mean, like, I have maybe 5 Let's Plays on my channel, and one of which is literally a full 100% playthrough of Donkey Kong Country. I mean, this was my very first video game. Love the hell out of this game. I know it backwards and forwards like the back, you know, like the back of my hand. This game is fantastic, very nostalgic to me, has very, very good memories for me. You know, it's a masterclass in platforming, and you know, say what you will, at the time, pre-rendered graphics were like insanely new, so this was probably the most beautiful looking game out there. Anyway, Donkey Kong Country definitely has to be on the list somewhere, and you know, to me, since it was my first game, seems like a great place to start.
Number 9.
So next up, I had to pick something from the Ratchet & Clank series. Like, this defined my, like, middle school years, I think. I think it was middle school. Anyway, I had to pick something from Ratchet & Clank, and the best one out of the original trilogy for me is probably the second one. And I say that with kind of a little bit of a caveat. Like, the second one had the coolest improvements with the weapons leveling up and just the story feeling much bigger. I know the third one had way more going for it, but that kind of made it a little bit lesser in my eyes. A great game, I love it, but the second one just felt really concise, really good. And I'm telling you, if you haven't played the Ratchet & Clank series, very charming, very fun action platformer shooter. The comedy's great. I mean, the comedy is top notch. Like, really, for any age, like, it's great for younger crowds. And then going back older, like, a lot of the jokes, there's some adult jokes in there that kind of sneak in, kind of like the old cartoons back in the day. But I mean, Ratchet & Clank had to make one on the list, and you know, Ratchet & Clank 2 Going Commando is the one that I decided on.
Number 8.
We're going handheld on this one. Oh man, so Mega Man Battle Network is one of the best series ever, just ever. It's It's so fun. It's an action RPG, kind of has like card battling elements with the chips. Great story, good fun. One of my best friends actually got me into the series, and I started off with Mega Man Battle Network 3, and that's the one I'm putting on the list. Granted, the mechanics and some of the abilities and stuff you could do way better later in the series. I mean, it all came to a culmination with number 6, but I'll say that 3, not only just because it was my first, it has the best plot out of all of them. It has the best end game. It's just really, really solid. It introduced the groundwork for a lot of the mechanics that made kind of the series like really come to its height at the very end. Fun series. I had to throw a handheld game on the list, and this is one that really took a lot of my time when I was younger, and you know, a lot of those memories are very, very well maintained in the old nostalgia bank.
Number 7.
I've actually talked about this game kind of a little bit in the past, but not really. On my FrameMeister video, I showed this game using the comparison of the FrameMeister, and that's Way of the Samurai. Way of the Samurai is a great series. NumberThree for the Xbox 360, PS3 era is probably the hands-down best example of this, but I'm going with NumberOne just because, for me, it was the first one I ever played, and it is fantastic. Way of the Samurai, if you don't know, it's like this kind of game where you're just a wandering samurai, walk into a town, passing through, and you know, you get into all kinds of situations. You can join with different factions, different families, and you can just kind of make your own story, and it just plays out in crazy ways. There's a bunch of endings in the game, one of which is literally just walking through the town and leaving. I mean, like, this game is fantastic. Some stuff carries along through. It's kind of cool how they do it. Your weapons are what carry over, and your weapons are what actually level up, not you. So, like, you learn new moves with them. Regardless, fantastic game, and something you have to check out if you've never played it.
Number 6.
Now, I've done a whole something old, something new on this video, and this is EDF 2017. I'm putting 2017 on here because it's the first game like this I ever played, first EDF game I ever played. I rented it from a Blockbuster with a friend, had no idea what I was getting into, and oh my god, this is the definition of just couch co-op madness. It is just ridiculous. You just go around blowing up insects and robots and all sorts of madness with just the most insane weapons ever. The series as a whole is phenomenal, extremely overlooked. It is just raw fun. I mean, literally, I just love going and unlocking weapons, you know, going to just a level and just decimating everything. Buildings, ants, robots, spiders, bees, and just whatever. And it's just so good. I mean, it to me was like the first game where you could literally like make the whole map completely flat by the time you're done. And you know, like I said before, just raw fun, just endless carnage, and definitely a great time with friends.
Number 5.
Alright, so I have to put Sonic Adventure 1 on here. Sonic Adventure 2 has way more stuff going on for it, but Sonic Adventure 1 has a very special place in my heart. You know, I know Sonic Adventure is one of those games that like a lot of people like to kind of trash on, but this game did everything. And you know what? I'm here for all of it. I'm here for all the stuff, even the stuff that people like to dunk on, because this game, you know, in my mind, is not only a fun game, but it's also a beautiful tech demo. So, I mean, you have the Sonic stages where you're running around, action platforming, you know, the works. You have the Gamma stages, which are kind of like these weird robot kind of shooter kind of things. You have the Amy stages where you're, you know, it's kind of like Sonic, but it's a little different, maybe more like a stealth game. You have Tails, which is identical to Sonic. However, there's the flying stages, which are basically like a Panzer Dragoon shooter. Then you have Big the Cat, right? Everyone hates Big the Cat. Nobody likes Big the Cat. You know what Big the Cat does? Big the Cat does a few things. One, it kind of gives you the time to just kind of relax from, you know, the other gameplays. I like to play Big the Cat where I go in, do a level, then go play someone else, then come back and do a level, go play someone else. But it's also like a fishing simulator, and you know what? A lot of people don't like it, breaks up the pace, but like I said, I like to play his part in doses. I like the weird kind of time you have with it. And then after all that, you know, last but not least, you have Knuckles, and you know, it's basically like a treasure hunting minigame. A lot of stuff going on with this, and then not only do you have all these fun things, you have a cool open world kind of like hub world map. You have the Chow Garden where you can go through, and it's like a little side game, raising chows. You know what? I don't need to convince you guys, because I don't care what you think. I love Sonic Adventure, and I'm going to always say that I love Sonic Adventure.
Number 4.
It's hard getting this close to the top, but you know, this had to be on the list. I didn't know how high I was going to put it, and like I said, I think this list is very fluid. But that is Final Fantasy IV, or 2, or whatever you're going to call it. I literally have a video on my channel showing my collection of how I own every single different version of this game that you can own. This is just my favorite Final Fantasy, and basically my favorite turn-based RPG of all time. I love the story. I love the characters. It was kind of my first real deep dive into this kind of genre. You know, I had this game growing up. I had it from a flea market. I had no idea what I was getting into. And, you know, as an adult, I appreciate it way more. As a kid, I didn't quite know what was going on. And then I played it in, like, maybe... because I got it in, like, elementary school. But I played it in, like, middle school when, you know, you kind of understand things a little better than jump on enemy and to kill, and you know, it was a great story. It still is a great story. Final Fantasy IV, 2, whatever you want to call it, is always going to hold a very, very special place in my heart.
Number 3.
Now we're getting to some of the heaviest of hitters, and I had to throw Halo on here. And you know, a lot of people are going to be like, why is Halo so high on the list? You know, this was my first-person shooter. And, man, nothing compares to when you, like, first land on Halo, you know, level 2, and you see the big open world for the first time. Playing this game couch co-op is, like, some of my best memories, like, literally ever. I play this game all the way through with friends, literally once a year, every year. You know, I remember when I beat this game on Legendary and got the secret ending, it was, like, so amazing. The big escape, you know. Gosh, playing that for hours and hours, trying to get out of the explosion without getting killed, just getting through it. I mean, just beating this game on Legendary co-op was insane. This game has so many great memories for me. It's just a ton of fun. The new Halo Infinite is great also, so like, it got me kind of thinking. I had Halo on the brain anyway, but this game is like safely and securely in my top 10, and you know, it always will be.
Number 2.
This is the game. You know, my first Zelda was A Link to the Past. My favorite 2D style Zelda, hands down, Link's Awakening, and that was my second Zelda I ever played. But nothing can ever recreate the experience of playing Ocarina of Time for the first time. Nothing can recreate just going into that 3D for the first time. I mean, you had to be there, you know. If you're younger and you weren't there when we switched from 2D to 3D, it won't have that kind of impact on you. But just getting out of your house, the first thing you do in Ocarina of Time, and like looking around in 3D and seeing this world as Link, is one of the most magical gaming memories I will have in my entire life. I was so hyped for this game when it came out. And to me, it delivered on all fronts. This is one of the first games I can remember 100%ing everything. Literally getting everything in the game. All the bottles, all the hearts. And I mean, there is just so much enjoyment. This game is, for me, it's perfection. It is a game that is so high on my list that it just, you know, this was going to be on there no matter what. You know, it's good. It's the best. You know, if you're into Zelda and you've never played this particular Zelda for some reason, you need to find a way to do it. It's on the Nintendo Switch online service. I don't care. You know, go buy a 64. Just get this game. Play it on the 3DS. That's probably the best version. But my God, Ocarina of Time is just so damn solid. You know, there's nothing more I can say. You know, if you haven't played it, play it. If you've played it, then you know.
Number 1.
Now, you know this game was going to be on there. You know, if you're any long-time viewer of the channel, you know I'm a Mega Man Legends fan. But even if you haven't watched my channel much, you know, there's one definitive way you know I'm a Mega Man Legends fan, and that is I do all kinds of unboxing videos. And every single unboxing video uses the same music when I'm unboxing, and that's the Apple Market theme from Mega Man Legends 1. Mega Man Legends is like, it's just so perfect. the story it starts out so fun and light, and the characters are enjoyable, and you just get this whole fun story between you and the townsfolk and the mysterious ruins and the fun kind of bumbling pirates. And then it goes to something just so dark, and like the story just gets so real. I mean, my God, say what you will about Mega Man Legends 2, another fantastic, wonderful game that gets way deeper into that dark story, but just the transition in Mega Man Legends 1, going from this light, fluffy, bubbly, fun story, kind of going into this really, really intense, just full of action story. It is so, so good. There's so much textualization with the characters, just like how they feel about each other, their dynamics, just the little stuff you can do, so much extra little stuff you can do. I mean, this game, to me, is perfection. When it does come to this top 10 list, I did say that, this whole top 10 is very fluid, but definitively, this is my number one. I made this number one for a reason. It will be my number one. Probably if I ever make this video again, it will be a number one. It's perfect, and you've seen the video so far. You've gone through my whole top 10. There has been some really heavy hitters that would be very hard to say wouldn't be a number one material, but to me, this game is absolutely my number one game. So I guess those are my top 10, or at least the first 10 that came to my mind that really had a huge impact on me. Hey, what'd you guys think? What are your top 10 games? I mean, hell, this is a really hard challenge. I mean, I feel like I could do this every other week and it'd be entirely different. But that said, it was a challenge, and since the challenge was posed to me, I guess I'm supposed to throw it back out into the universe. I'm gonna pull a Pac-Man here, and if you watched his video, he basically, if someone who I call out has done this challenge, go ahead and just pass right by, and I'm sorry that I didn't realize you did it, but I'm going to challenge Gamer Aimer, my good friend Brandy. I want her to throw down. I want to know Brandy, you're watching this, I hope. What your top 10 games are. I mean, gosh, you have so many games. I imagine they're all going to be Nintendo 64, but I could be wrong on that one. I think the next person I will nominate will be my good man Russ. Man, he's doing so much stuff. He's always building crazy, crazy things based on games. So I want to know if those things that he's been making reflects the games that are his favorites. I don't know. And let's see if we're going to do one more person to suggest this challenge to. How about... you know what? How about old Retro Rick? I didn't see him on this challenge before. Then again, maybe I'm wrong. But you know what? You get so many deals. You have to have some hidden gems that I don't know about. So Rick, show me what your 10 are. And you know what? Hopefully one of you or all of you three make some videos. And hey, you know what? This has been pretty fun. Yeah, that's going to do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. That would be amazing. And as always, my friends, take it easy.